Today's project is going to be working on a Econoline Ford E350 van. The cables on the door latch is broke, and for Ford to get the part for us will be for 3 cables. They want $300 or $291.08. So we're going to go ahead and do a quick fix on the cables that we have and put new couplings. The cables on these Fords, the couplings go bad right where they connect to the mechanism. The cables are usually always good. So, and what happens is the cables here, as you can see, rot out. All this dry rots and they snap off, and that's what you end up with afterwards is these. So what we're going to do is modify a piece of rubber hose and make these work. So we're going to give this a shot and see what it is. And this is the hose we'll use. It's a heavy duty fuel line, 3/16. So the heavy thick line, and it's got a braid in it. So the braided line should be reinforced enough to where it goes. And we'll go ahead and put one together and show you what it looks like. We're going to set that in. The ball's still good. The 3/16 is going to fit pretty tight in here. Cut this about 1 inch long, 1.25 inches. And we'll go ahead and start putting her in. This way I found to do these. They were started. Take a nice pair of needle nose pliers, hold the cable, and just wiggle it. And just push on it and wiggle her down. And might need to use the heat gun to heat up the rubber just to make it more pliable. And then we'll push it in the rest of the way. Okay, what I've done is mounted a little Allen wrench in my vise. And that way it's wide enough to go ahead and sit in there and push on that ball, and I'll go ahead and heat this up and just push that rubber hose right on down. And we'll see how that works in 1 second here. Sorry about the video, but I don't want to get it too hot. But she's gumming up pretty good there. We should be able to take that. Push it right on through and should go right on down in it. There it is, voila. So do that. As you see, it popped right on through. Yo! Alright, to make my couplings so they lock in place in the mechanism, we're going to have to notch the hoses with a round groove so it will catch into the lock. So what I'll use for that is the old trusty Whizzer wheel on sale, Harbor Freight for $9.99 with a laser. Can't beat that. Okay, for our rubber grommets now to sit into our locks, they all have a little groove around them. So we'll have to notch these rubber hoses with a Whizzer wheel. Of course, you can get these Harbor Freight for $10. Came with a wheel and a laser. I mean, can't beat that. So. Okay, you see there, we got a pretty nice groove in this one. Sit there, it's grooved all the way around now. Now we'll check it and see how it fits in the lock before I put this on the cable, just to see how my system's working before we go through all the trouble. Okay, here's the lock mechanism right here. This is where your cable is going to go into, and this is where the rubber one will lock in. And we'll snap it on, snapped in, and perfect. Seems to hold pretty good. Of course, while I get her done, I'm going to go ahead and put some epoxy around that just to help hold it in place and stiffen up the rubber. But with the cable inside the hose, it'll stiffen that rubber up, and this will be a pretty good fix, I think. Okay, I got 3 cables that broke on this van. One on this whole door that I had to take off. We had to pull the hinges and unlatch the whole system just the way it was locked in. And with this carpet machine in here, you couldn't get nothing out. So that's why we have this whole mechanism out now on this door, and we're replacing both cables. Now on these ones, I went ahead and did 2 rubber hoses already on the cable itself, and it's drying right now. I got JB weld, quick weld, is what I went ahead and I put on the ends just to stiffen it up some and help make it, help reinforce these hoses a little bit where I did the notch. I didn't like the way they were frayed out. They just seemed a little weak, so I had to use some quick weld on that. Now on this door here, I only need 1 cable. And I went ahead and notched this hose, but I only notched 2 sides of this hose because this one has a clip that'll go in place that'll put this in the door, and it's just a clip that snaps on that one. And let's see, we'll get the clip. I already tested it and see what we got. As you can see up in here, there is 1 cable still on right there, and you got that clip that goes. This will be our second one going into here, and this is the clip that uses that, and that'll snap in. I'll slide the hose in here and snap that in place. I don't know if you'll be able to see this when I do it, but we'll try to set the camera up to where it will work. I don't know if that's going to do it. Okay. Now what we're going to do, slide this cable through, hook it on the door, the latch on the outside first. Put the ball in, the ball's hooked in. Now we'll see if we can snap this clip in place, and we'll try it and see if it works. I'm going to do this one without reinforcing the JB weld. I think there's plenty of material in this one. One snap, 2 snaps. Snapped in place. Okay. As you can see, there's our repair. Rubber hose snapped in with a clip. There's factory. Okay, now we'll see if this springs it, as this is your pin for locking it. If your door was to lock, this is what will happen. Door sprung right there. She's locked in place, and let's see what we got. Okay, find the latch. Still not enough throw on it. I think the bottom cable is shot too. I was hoping for 1 fix, but as you can see, that one's dry rotted down there also, and it's broke off. So I'll have to replace this end also. What a bummer. Oh man.